we go. And I have Renee, and she is one of my clients that we have worked with for a long time and a long time ago. And I just wanted to talk to you and kind of record our conversation, just relaxed and just I know how you started out, but how we started out, where you've been, and that's what I want to talk to you about. So, when where were you prior to us working together in with a coaching relationship? Had you had a coach? All the things.
I have never had a coach before. And the reason why I actually reached out to you, Kim, is because I wanted to talk about more about my weight loss. That was like really my main concern and how to navigate that because I was almost about 100 pounds overweight at that point in time. And I just wanted to have a healthier lifestyle. I wanted to be able to exercise more, but I just couldn't seem to meet all of my goals that I wanted to meet. And I felt like I needed to reach out to somebody to give me some ideas and to be able to talk to through some things. And that's the reason why I reached out to you. And then it turned into a whole bunch of other things that I didn't even realize that I needed help with or needed some guidance with. So I'm very appreciative of that. So, and that's the reason why I reached out in the first place.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember those aha moments to go, oh, maybe because you were saying that this is something I just can't seem to get a grip on. I'm good with career, I'm good with this, the relationships and this, but then it was like, oh, the relationship with me. Oh, there's something there.
Yes, it was just believing in myself and actually just asking how do I get to that goal because with work I was always a very career oriented. I've always like quote unquote reached moved up the corporate ladder. I never had any issues with that, but taking care of myself was very difficult. It was I needed help navigating through that. So, and like I said, you had given me some different activities to do, and each one of them I've never heard of. And some of them I was just like, what? I'm like, what am I doing next? So, but I loved it because I always learned from those activities that you gave me. So, and then we end up talking about other things, and you gave me other solutions like sleeping was one of them. You introduced me to an app. It was called Tapping Solutions. And because I'm one of those people that just can't shut their brain off. So that was really difficult for me to get a good 8 hours of sleep. So so I appreciate the little tips even on the side that wasn't the real reason why I was calling, but it all comes together in one big circle.
It is. All the strings that are attached pull us, different directions and line us up differently. And when you don't sleep good, your body is stressed out, even if you don't know it too. And you can lose weight so much easier when you have a full night's sleep also.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So what's maybe a favorite activity or thing that you kind of went through that you kind of had a aha moment on?
I think one of the things that you had me do was I had to write a list. And I had to write a list and put basically my priorities in order. And that was hard because you you think that you know what your priorities are. And then when you write it down and it's right in front of your face. And I remember you had me like number them also. And I still have that list actually. And
Oh,
that's one of the things
really?
that I have kept, one of the exercises that I actually have kept. And then I go back and I look at it and be like, oh my gosh, yes, now I'm doing this. I'm doing this more often, whether it had to do with weight loss or just taking care of yourself. And one of the things that I have a tendency to do is I always look in the future instead of living in the moment. And that was one of the things that was on my list that I have to remind myself still to this day, that live in the moment and worry about what you can only control instead of worrying about things in the
Mm.
future, because I'm also a worrier. So, and I remember that list. I like I said, I still have that list. And I still pull it out every once in a while. I'll be like, okay, Renee, you gotta look at this and just remember, what Kim had told you. So then that way you're not always thinking about the future. And I know I get that from my career. Like I'm always thinking of the next step in my career, or when I take care of a client or something like that. Because I'm in sales, obviously, you know that. But yeah, so I have to remind myself of that list. And I think that was one of the best exercises.
Hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And it's funny how it comes to you in different ways. I know some of the things was like, I really want, I don't know what to write or I don't know what to do. Okay, I'll do it. And then it was the thing, or it was something that really gave you insight and go, is that really something you really want me to do? And I really think that that is part of coaching. It's kind of like running or something. You don't want that last couple miles. You really don't want that extra, when it gets hard, when you're by yourself, I feel like you don't push that extra oomph,
Hmm.
that when somebody is waiting for you the next week, because we talked every week.
Yeah.
Oh, Kim's in my head. I remember you saying that, Kim, you're talking in my head. And yeah. And we had a good time. We had a good
Oh,
time together.
always had a good time. Yeah.
And you would say, okay, I might have put it off to the last minute, but I did the exercise or whatever. And it was interesting how it kind of pushed you to that figuring out mode.
Right. And one of the other things that you had me do that I dreaded, and I'm sure you remember this, is journaling. And you made me do that. And I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I am not gonna like this. But to this day, I don't do it every day, but I still journal. I still journal like my
Oh,
thoughts.
yay.
Yes, exactly. And I was dreading that exercise, and you made me do that for weeks. Well, I shouldn't say you didn't make me do it, but you asked me to do it. But you
Right,
know
right.
what? It's a way to put your thoughts down and what you're thinking and how you're feeling. And it's your own private moment. And I never thought that I would continue that exercise, but I do. I do. And it's
Um,
a good way just to put whatever I'm thinking on paper. And then if I want to go back and look at it, I do, and of where I've been and where I'm going, and like maybe some goals that I have. So that was another exercise that I was like, oh my gosh, like this is going to be hard for me, but it was good. And that's what I was saying. It's not just about like losing the weight. It was just finding my inner peace and being happy with myself. So, and that
mm.
was, that was the aha moment right there.
It really was. It really was. Yeah, I remember that exercise you didn't want to, is loving all parts of your body,
Yes.
loving your arms, loving your tummy, no matter what size it was, no matter where you were, accepting now, not future. Go, oh, I can't wait to be, whatever weight. I'm going to love this body right where it is, however it is, because it's perfect. It's me.
Right.
It's me.
Right. It's all about
Yeah.
self-confidence. Yeah, exactly. Which that took me a long time to get to. And now I'm there. You know what I mean? So I feel good about
Yes.
myself, and yeah, so it was great.
And I can see it. I can see the difference in the way you're showing up today, the way that you are, yeah, I can really tell a difference. Your anxiety, I can tell, is a
Mhm.
lot less. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And funny on that is I have added since we have talked a 14-week program, and I had 13 weeks, and my coach said 13, that's unlucky number. Don't do 13. You need 14. I thought 14. I thought I was done. I thought this would be awesome. Da da da. And I really got to thinking, and it's so funny that you mentioned that. My course that I added was on confidence.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. And that's a great
I
topic.
know. That's so interesting that you said that, because that, and I've had people go through it since, and that was their favorite lesson, their favorite spot of it. And I was like, you know what? That was like we've talked about divine, you needed to add something else. What do I add? What do I add? Trying to figure that out. And that was something that, like I said, that you said really helped you. And I've had
Hmm.
other people say that was their favorite. So
Yeah,
that's something. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
wonderful. That's wonderful to hear that you added that because that is a big part of your life. So, and
Hmm.
if you don't believe in yourself, then you really don't have anything. Like I feel like that though. I felt like, I mean you do have your you have your life and etc, but you have to believe in yourself and you have to believe that you can meet certain goals and you can actually do it and be successful at it at your hardest things. So not at the
Yeah.
easy things, the hardest things that you have to think about deep down inside.
Hmm. 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 It's kind of that, like a umbrella to other things.
Right. Right. Exactly. Yes. So,
Mm. It's a protection and gives you that confidence
mhm.
that, because you rely on yourself, that you know that you're enough just the way you are.
Right. Yeah, that was that was huge for me. That was huge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that when you were saying it, thinking future, you were thinking a lot with your head and not getting deeper into your heart.
Hmm.
And I think that you kind of settled into your body more, settled down into your heart and go, okay, what do I really want? What do I really need? And I saw that conch. It's kind of like it's a settle, like I'm enough. I'm confident in who I am.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Mm,
absolutely. But sometimes you need somebody to help navigate you through that, and that's what you did for me.
mm,
So, and you brought a lot of things to light that, like I said, I didn't even think of. I called you for one thing, but then it's this whole, like you said, umbrella of things that all tie in together. And you made me realize that and it's okay to not be perfect all the time, and it's okay to have failures instead of and that's how you learn from from your failures. But I needed somebody to remind me of that and to go through exercises or talking and etc. So, and it's really um an outsider's perspective, and and it was wonderful, and that's why I am so appreciative of what you've done. So it was a great journey, and it's still a journey because you're still going through this every single day. You know what I mean? You're going through life every single day. This is just stop. You have to use your exercises that you've taught me and etc, and I got to remind myself of certain things because you can fall back into your patterns. But if you like just I don't know, just going through like our sessions and etc. I do think about them every once in a while and be like, oh yeah, I remember Kim taught me X, Y, and Z, whatever that is that day. So it's good. It's good. So it was the
it's
best
good.
decision of my life.
Aw, that's awesome. And it's some people get where they don't want to be vulnerable or they don't know how, oh, life coaching, it's so I agree. It's hard to put it in perspective because life is life and life can be so big, but and so oh, I can handle that. I think that us as women get, I don't need any help, or not having that camaraderie of that it's not that I have the answers, it's picking the answers out of your head. What do you think? What feels good in your body and for you?
Right. And one of the things that I like during our sessions is that you would like ask a question and I would give you the answer, but then you would follow up with another question that was even deeper than the first question. So it really makes you think and just think about like, oh, I'm like, I didn't think about it that way. So like I said,
Mhm.
it definitely was a different perspective, which is, which I think is great. So because
Yep.
you have the skills and I don't have the skills in this area. And that's, that's the reason why, I
Right.
reached out. So yeah, it
Yeah.
was good.
Good, good. And so today, what is your perspective? Where is Renee now after going through prior to the gap in between to where life looks like now?
I think one of the biggest things is my self-confidence.
Mhm.
I also have lost 70 pounds, so I still have like, I still, after all this time, I still have weight to lose, but I'm definitely more fit and more tone and I enjoy exercising. That was one of the things that I love water aerobics.
Yep.
But I never liked going to the gym. So I fit that into my life now, which I never have done before. I just think I'm much happier with myself. My self-confidence is
Mhm.
better. I've always had like tons of friends. And so which I'm very blessed because I have a lot of friendships and etc. But I'm more vulnerable by putting myself out there and meeting new people. So I've always had this network of friends, but just meeting new people, I have a lot more confidence and etc. So and I don't worry as much as I used to. There's always worries in life and things happen and you have to overcome them. But I don't, I try really hard to live in the moment now. Like every day is a blessing. And you've taught me that every day it's your day and you can make it, however you want to make it. So, and I don't always think about what's going to happen in the future like I did. I mean, I drove myself crazy of thinking what's going to happen in the future. So it's
Mhm.
just a whole different perspective on life. And yeah, it's been a great journey.
Yeah, I can see you broke through some key beliefs that this is how it always has to be, that the worry that you were able to break through that and go, that doesn't have to be a part of me anymore.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Mm,
yeah, much happier. I
that's
always thought I
awesome.
was a happy person, but going through I don't even remember how many weeks it was, Kim, that we had spoke. I don't even remember. But just going through all of those weeks of talking every single week and just trying to figure out different things. And like I said, I called for one thing, but it ended up being all these other like things that we talked about. So things that I didn't
Mhm.
never even knew that was related, I guess is a great way of saying it, so
Yeah.
I didn't realize that there was other things that needed to be discussed because I called for one
Right. Right.
and
Oops.
I got a
Yep.
whole different package, which is great because I have these tools now that I can use, and
Yes.
that's what you
Yes.
gave me is different tools and different lessons. And like I said, sometimes I'll go back and I'll think about our sessions like when I feel like I need to, and you know what I mean, and be like, oh yeah, well, I should probably do this, or I should, like we talked about journaling, or something like that, and just writing your
Mhm.
feelings down and etc. So it
Yeah.
was, yeah, it was good. It's just, it's an eye-opening experience. And I never, like I said, I never realized because I've never reached out to a coach before.
Right, right. And that's, and that's where my journey started too, is I had a coach and I was like, that was awesome. And how can I get that in my life too? And so, it is, if you haven't experienced that, if you haven't gone through that, it's like, oh, okay, and we're gonna go here and we're gonna go here. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all good.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for sharing and for I'm just and it's not just me, it's the process, it's the questions and figuring out what's in your brain because you did the work. You did all the
Right.
work. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I appreciate you coming on and sharing, and
Absolutely.
hopefully people can figure out, oh, is that because I feel like, and I told you this too, that you think that it's hard to get it down in words, that sometimes when you see the emotions or see that, oh, this person is a real person,
Mhm.
then it comes to life for people. So I appreciate that very much.
Well, yeah. Well, Kim, you know that I think you're phenomenal, and you have definitely changed my life. And I have told you that before. And
Yes.
I'm just so appreciative. And I hope that, people reach out to you because you're such a great listener and you always come prepared. You always had, different, either if it was a technique or something like that or a personal experience, I mean, to share with me. You're very relatable, and I really appreciate everything that you've done for me. And it was, like I said, it was the best decision of my life. And I've said that before, and I really truly mean that. And I want other people to experience this because it's great.
Well, yes. Thank you so much. So
You're
much.
welcome.
And everybody needs their person. Everybody's got to figure out, we connect differently. And so if it's not me, somebody else that goes, "Oh, coaching, I heard that," and find their person too. So
Right. Absolutely.
I'm yes, yes.
All right. Yeah. Very
Well,
grateful.
thank you, and I will talk to you later.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.